So basically, I've been doing cosplay photography for about a year now, and ever since then, some of you probably see my work. So thank you for those that I shot with and taking the time to just to shoot with me. So yeah, that's Adaina.
Hey guys, most of you know me as Adaina Velez. I'm a model and cosplayer, and I usually work with everyone in this panel at various cons as well as other photographers.
Hi, I'm Jaycee, Estrella. How's everyone doing tonight? Or day? Okay, so I've been a photographer for about, like, I want to say since the start of New York Comic Con. Currently, I manage 2 of the most talented girl groups cosplaying right now, the BOCs and Cosplays. And yeah, glad I was here with you guys. Okay, next.
Hi guys, my name is Julia D'Amato. I am a cosplayer and recently turned photographer. Hi, how are you all doing? I've been cosplaying since 2006, and I picked up a camera probably a couple months ago, to be honest. But my major in college was TV production and broadcasting, so it's not really anything new, but it's definitely a completely different experience for a convention. So yeah.
What's going on, guys? My name is Eli. I've been doing photography for about 4 years, and out of those 4 years, 1 year in cosplay photography. I've traveled to various cons, and I've had fun so far. So.
You want free?
That comes the first question.
We're gonna introduce Jaycee here.
What?
Tell us about the cos dad.
Oh, hi. Oh, man.
Oh, there goes the roast.
Oh, that's me. That's all me right here. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm Jaycee. One of the models actually on that is actually right there. That's Joanna Marie, dressed as Wonder Woman. So what I'll be talking about with you guys is cosplay photography etiquette, the do's and don'ts, pretty much on, you know, asking for photos, the pre, the during, and the post. So what I'm going to be talking about, I even wrote something nice over here for you guys, because I can't remember anything. First thing you guys need to know, if you're trying to be into cosplay photography and you want to ask cosplayers for their pictures, the first thing is to be courteous. You know, ask them for a picture. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna take your picture, and then just, you know, snap it and then run away. No, that's not gonna happen. Second thing is, I want to talk about if you guys are gonna charge for pictures, depending, you gotta let them know ahead of time. Like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture of you, but I just want you to know that this is a charge of $20, $30, whatever. You know what I mean? You can't just blindside them at the end of it and be like, okay, now you gotta pay me $50 for this. This isn't 42nd Street, guys. We can't do that to anyone. What do you call it? You want to add to the pre?
To the pre.
Like if I was to approach you right now, right? Hi, I'm Jaycee. Is it alright if I take a picture?
Absolutely. One thing that as a cosplayer, what we do not like to see is discourtesy. Just like he said, you have to be courteous in your approach, as well as keep your hands to yourself. Even though we like to be posed, just be polite and ask first before you put your hands on anyone. Be like, okay, listen, I'm going to post you this way, I'm going to post you that way, and you should be fine. The minute that you become uncomfortable as a female, male as well, that's when the shoot is over. You have the power to actually walk away from a situation that you're not comfortable with, regardless if this person has spent money on equipment, lighting, whatever, promised you the world. You have the chance of saying, okay, this is not something that I'm comfortable with, and I just want to walk out. So.
that leads into during the photo shoot, which is if you're gonna shoot them, and I want to say I don't want to say return business, but if you want to continuously shoot them, make them feel comfortable during the shoot. Ask about their character if you don't know who their character is, Exactly, say who you are, don't just be like, but you got...
Peace.
Exactly. So basically, say who you are, ask who they're cosplaying, and if you pose them like she said, don't just start ranting on her and be like, oh yeah, your hair is this, so I'm just gonna fling it to the side and whatever. Personal space, boundaries, all of that stuff. And if you do, like, hey, your hair is this, is it alright if I, flick it this way or whatever? And how long did it, just asking basic questions, like, because they spend a lot of time on their cosplay. Like, some people I know here spend maybe more than months, some people a year. Joanna Marie over there, actually, how long did that Wonder Woman take? 6 to 3 months. Okay, so like, you can't just, right? We got people in here who, like, from the last panel, if you were here, we got Mike, Captain Cosplay over here, who spends all the time basically editing what he's already created, like his Captain America. He constantly tries to perfect it. It's one of the best Captain Americas we've seen, let's be honest, guys. Like, give it up for Mike also. And, what do you call it? Yeah, also, she said, be respectful. Don't ever say anything that's really uncomfortable, like, oh, I'm gonna take pictures of y'all, this is hot. Think of the print sales. Don't ever say anything like that. That's ridiculous, guys. Like, don't try to get them to show more cleavage and stuff like that, because honestly, man, as a manager of 2 groups of girls, I hate hearing it. The photographers say that to them. Don't forget that the cosplayer comes first, foremost, and we're last. Cosplay photographers are last.
True story.
Okay?
True story.
Right? Let's talk. Okay.
Okay, so my section of everything is being both a cosplayer and a photographer. And the 2 main things that I wanted to do is break it down into a pro and a con. So do you want the good side of that first or the bad side? Bad side. Okay, cool. Everybody's so negative. Why are you all so negative? So the reason that it's a bad thing is because the past convention that I just went at, I wasn't able to do both effectively. It was a big convention, it's a big East Coast convention, and I couldn't be both a photographer and a cosplayer. Like Saturday. Cosplayers all know that Saturday is like the day that everybody wears their best and like is just photo central. But of course, I wanted to wear my best, and I didn't want to like have a camera around my neck because that takes away from my costume. And also, like when I was walking around, I had my bag and I would have to put it down for someone to take a picture of me. But here's my $3,500 camera next to me, someone could just walk off with it. So I had to worry about that, and I also had to worry about the fact that if I was going to get a picture taken, somebody who had a really cool costume that I wanted to shoot would be gone. Like 2 seconds and it's done. Like, conventions happen so fast, as you know, everybody just walks around like crazy. So for the bad side of being both a cosplayer and a photographer, you're not going to be able to be both effectively at conventions. And that sounds awful, I know. But the way I do it is I'm going to do all the major conventions. I'm just going to strictly be a photographer. I'm going to strictly be a cosplayer and maybe do like a couple private shoots. But there's no way that I could take haul shots. And it's bad because haul shots are what really get your name out there if you're trying to establish yourself. So you take all those haul shots and then you post them in the groups on Facebook and Instagram, and then somebody finds themselves and they're like, oh yeah, so the end of Something Beautiful, or Jaycee Estrella Photography, or Geeked Photos, or Edward Photography, like, oh, I know them now, they took my whole shot, and then they'll contact you. But since I'm walking around in a costume, it's hard to effectively go around the convention and take those photos. So let's stop being pessimistic, and here's the good thing about it. So the good thing is, I feel like a lot of photographers don't understand what it's like to be behind that lens, or in front of that lens rather. It's definitely a whole different experience, and when you're being the one being shot and you're a subject, it's a whole different, sorry, I'm like, I got here so late, I'm so sorry. It's a whole different experience. You were planning on this for me to choke up. It's a whole different experience, and I feel like a lot of photographers don't understand what it's like, that if you're standing in front of a camera and they ask you like, hey, can you turn like this, or can you do this, that a lot of people don't understand what that means, or what it means to also be in the spotlight, to have just one guy in front of you taking your picture, and like you're basically being spotlighted. So I think for photographers, I think you should cosplay just once, even if it's the simplest cosplay, to get your picture taken so you know what it feels like. So then when you become a photographer, so when you're a photographer at a convention, you know what it's like to be behind, I mean in front, God. I didn't curse. To be in front of that lens, and yeah.
I just want to add to that. I guess everyone who follows me on Facebook knows that I had a little incident where I tried to create a Robin costume by sewing, and it was my first attempt at cosplaying. I'll let you know, right? I sewed like half my shirt into the Robin outfit while I was wearing it. So since then, I pretty much like told Julia and anyone that like, I can't do this. This is too hard for me. Cloud never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, moving on.
Do we have any questions, by the way? Do
Yes,
we
we
have questions
do.
right now?
Oh, okay.
I go first.
You can step to the mic, honey.
There's a mic right there too.
Yeah.
It's a tall mic.
I'm short, so...
Yeah, trust me, buddy, I know.
I was wondering, would you guys ever explore into going into film with these? Because there's so many photos out on the internet, you guys take so much that you're taking from games and stuff, these characters. Would you guys ever try to translate it to short films or anything?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I am planning to go into film. As some of you know, I have the best mentor, Jaycee. And as part of our plan, we might try to like film around the car. And for those of you that know our Vasquez as Batman. Yeah, so we are planning to, we might want to do a short film, and Al, that he wants to teach me about the whole filming. So yeah, so I am planning to learn, get into the whole short film thing with Jake. Yeah, so hopefully that I will learn everything and get it down pat. And for those that have seen my work, it went from nothing to wow. So that's all.
Eli.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
So actually, this is all Ed's work right now that we're looking at.
Thank you.
So he does a lot of stuff with lighting. So when you do photography, you know, a lot of people first of all, a lot of people say, as a photographer, you need to have a DSLR, you need to have this. You know what? As long as you point and shoot, and you have fun, and you get what you want, and you create the art that you want, you're a photographer, period. You can do it off your phone, you can do it off a point and shoot, you can do it off a DSLR, no matter what. Just have fun with it. That's the first thing. Now, let's get through. So this is all. Ed actually uses a lot of really good lighting. Now, I don't use lighting kits, which I should be using, but I like a lot of natural lighting. I think Jaycee, you use natural lighting.
Yeah, natural. Yeah.
Use natural lighting. And here's Julia as.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then that's actually one of her shots that I actually personally. she goes as cosplaying.
I was thinking on that too.
Okay, so now to what I'm going to be talking about is post-production. So you approach the cosplayer, you got their picture, you managed your time well, you got your picture, whatever. You decided if you're going to use a lighting kit or you're not. My recommendation, if you're going to use a DSLR, and we're talking about DSLR in general, you always want to shoot in this format called RAW. Now the reason you want to shoot RAW is because, as you can see here, the picture is dark, right? Now with Lightroom, what you can do is you can easily tweak something really easily, like that. See the difference between this and that? There's a huge, huge, huge difference between the two, because RAW is actually, when you're shooting in RAW, you're getting every pixel, you're getting all the information, it's capturing everything. So, this is one of my photos that, you know, sometimes you try to figure out how you're going to stand out. What are you going to do to stand out? Because you have 50 million people trying to be photographers, which is great, but you also want to stand out. So what are you going to do? So usually after I do Lightroom, which is the program you saw before, I put it into Photoshop. You can get the program. I think it's a subscription right now. It's Photoshop CC. It's like $10 a month, and you put it in here, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work as far as layers. As you can see on the right side, on my left side, there's a lot of things that go into a finished product. So first I started off with, okay, let's start off with a background. Now I cut him out and I put him in there. Let's put some effects. Now you see how his left eye is starting to light up. Now we got the right eye, but notice how on this left side, there's a lot of layers. Now, I can't go into specific details on how to do it, but YouTube. I learned through YouTube. YouTube trial and error. YouTube trial and error is gonna be your best friend. No one sat down and actually taught me. I didn't go to school for photography. I went for video, but video and photography, although they're similar, but they're also different at the same time. Still images and moving images are two totally different playing fields. So, see, as you go on and you edit, okay, as you go on and, now this is actually an exclusive, she hasn't even seen this. This is something I took at, what was it? Special edition. And here's another one. Actually, you can barely see it, but the top where she's holding, it's actually, this is something simple that I did. She was deaf. Am I correct? Yeah. She was deaf. And what I wanted to do is, you know, sometimes if I don't know the character, ask the cosplayer. You know, while you're talking to them, having to ask the cosplayer, hey, do you have fan art? 99.9999 times, if their phone is on from not taking pictures all day, they usually have fan art. And you can ask them, hey, can I see that fan art? Look at the fan art and try to create that sometimes. That's what I do sometimes. I'd be like, hey, I don't know your character, but can I see some fan art? They'll show me and I'll be like, okay, this is how your character acts. Or can you act out something that your character does? Can you tell me something about your character? And usually you might get, you might get something like, oh, well, my character, like for instance, I mean, I watch Naruto, some of you don't, but if I didn't, I would have been like, oh, hey, what does your character do? Well, they put lightning in my hands. So you get stuff like this. You know, you figure out how you do. Now, how to go about doing it is YouTube. I mean, I could sit here and give you step by step, but obviously, you know, we don't have that much time, but YouTube is always going to be your best friend. Like I said, I mean, I can't reiterate that, you know, anymore, that YouTube is like the biggest thing in the world. Everything you can find is online. So don't think you can't do it. It actually took me, this particular picture, it took me maybe about 2 hours. Because I did some lighting stuff to it. It's actually brighter than this. Some pictures take 5 minutes, some takes 5 hours, some takes days. It's just the dedication. It's just the dedication. The dedication to getting those photos done, and that's pretty much it. So I hope I helped out.
Anybody has
Any questions?
Well, yes, I do.
Yeah.
As you said before with beginners, what would you suggest what camera you should use?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. You can have the best equipment, you can have the cheapest camera, you need to know how to composite the shot. So work on that first. Don't worry about equipment, how much it costs, the best lens, none of that. I don't know about that. Sorry, that sounded kind of mean.
No. I actually agree with you.
Lightroom.
Listen.
Lightroom, guys.
Listen, I started 10 years ago with a corner shoot, and I graduated to now the SLT.
Nice.
And it's taking time. I'm self-taught, so
Same.
it takes time, but it takes for anyone else who just wants to get into it.
This is basically what this panel is about. Anybody that wants to get into it can get into it.
But
You know.
Actually,
The easiest way I would have to say.
I will say this also in that too. It's easy to get in, but you have to have the patience.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to have the
Definitely.
patience to maintain it.
Yes.
it's all about
Thank you very
trial
much.
and error. That's all. It's about trial and error. That's all.
True.
It's
Thank
like,
you very much.
just to add to that, cosplayers actually stress out all the way leading to the con, and photographers, as we all know, we stress out after the con. That's when we're like, oh, I gotta get 1,000 pictures done. Okay, got it. All right.
Actually, yeah, Jaycee, wait, this is pretty true. For those of you that have worked that shot with me before, it's like basically the whole setup for the perfect line is really it has the stress relief. Like Julia, remember the first time they shot? Do you remember how much time it took and how much sunlight was directly hitting your eye? So yeah, so
Those reflectors were intense.
yeah, so the most important is if you are planning to use a reflector to shoot, make sure you don't block the cosplayer. Like I did with Julia, and I was and some people were there. So yeah, make sure you get your settings down right pat. Do it fast, and even though sometimes the picture might not come out the way you want, it's always Photoshop, Lightroom to fix up. Basically, yeah, that's it.
And can I just add one quick thing?
Yeah.
The best thing about this also community is everybody helps each other. So like I just started photography, but I've gotten so many tips from everybody that I've met. This guy right here, this guy right here, Ed himself, LeBoy, wherever the heck you are, somewhere there. There's another photographer here, Jerry Nico. He's given me so many tips. The camera I have is actually his. So if you really want to learn and start out, I would say buy whatever camera that you can, and just help, like ask within the community. They will help you. They will definitely help you. No problem, thank you.
All right, first I'd like to thank everybody on this panel that I've worked with before. You helped bring our group to where it was, so thank you. Especially the second to the right over here. Thank you, Adaina. A very serious issue with photography strategy, photobombing. How do we address photobombing in the middle of the photography? Because sometimes we notice the photobomber in the middle of, not a blatant photobomber, not someone that jumps in. We're talking about, you get 50 people and then you notice number 49 does not belong there. And we don't want to interrupt, but we like to inform the photographers to please don't give them the unwanted attention. Because some people they just want to get that photo shoot and they don't worry about quality, they worry about the quantity. So what's the best way to address the photographers? And we work with all of you, so I want to get everybody's opinion.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay, so I've worked with both of you. You guys organize one of the best DC meetups I've ever seen. When it comes down to it, you guys have it down to a science. You have people designated to watch for photobombs.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I'm in the zone where I'm literally about to trying to figure out how to shoot 1,000 people with a 32mm camera. So you're just kind of screwed a little, you know. But I'm glad that you guys have people that are designated to just call out Deadpool shouldn't be in there. By the way, I hate Deadpool.
There's one right there.
Not you,
Why
buddy.
would you
You're
say
good.
that?
You're good. You're okay, Mike. But I've never been photobombed so much by Deadpool. Basically, photobombs every one of my pictures somehow. Yeah, it kind of sucks because you don't want to also embarrass them as well and be like, hey, get out of here, you know, like.
And some of them are very late too.
Yes.
Well, that's when I step in. You already know how I take it.
Yeah, I just, obviously.
Yeah, and also the way I usually deal with photobombers, I just try to be nice and calm with them. As a student, we are in a private shoot. You cannot be in it. So once there's a certain point, you have to get mad no matter what. Once it hit a certain point. Like for example, I say not only photo bombers, they more like photography bombers, the ones where we are in the middle of shoot.
I know what that is.
Yeah, and there's other photographers doing the shot. And like for example, when I first started working with Jaycee LeBoy, we always have each other's back. We watch out for people, and also when we get, when we first met, so there is one point that the photographer came up to me, started yelling and screaming at me.
And it's your shoot.
Yeah, it's my shoot. So, I said, whatever, so I just walk away. And then Jason came up to her and started like yelling back at her. Like there's other photographers that live to step on their toes, try to steal the perfect shot, and claiming that this is a public place.
Yeah, that I've heard too.
Yeah.
Like with me, it's I'm so short, they really legit just don't see me there. So like, when a really tall photographer, I'm just using Jaycee LeBoy's height for an example. He's like 9 foot tall, first of all.
Yeah.
So like, I'll be standing there like, oh my god, I'm gonna shoot these guys, this is so amazing. And then like a photographer is like, thinks I'm like, I don't know, like, thing on the corner. So he'll stand in front of me and shoot, and I'll just be like, I was trying to
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Jaycee, sorry not to interrupt you, Jaycee. As if I don't of what Jaycee was saying, that sometimes you just don't know that other photographers will steal a shot. Like for example, I have shot with Stella Chill. Woo! Yeah. So when I was shooting with her, I just got off to change my position angles. There enough photography that took the same spot that I was. And then like Stella, she was like, excuse me, in the middle of private shoot, we just shoot afterwards. Which I really love cosplayers doing that, so thank you very much. That's my 411.
All right, bro, thank you for all that information. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your question.
Next.
Hi, thank you guys so much for being here. Actually, I think Ed and Julia both brought up a really good point. You mentioned that you'll see someone in a hall shoot and you want to get their picture and you know that it's kind of a now or never because once cons start going, they go crazy. And Ed mentioned that sometimes people don't know if there's a photo shoot going on or something. So for someone that's a brand new photographer, do you guys have any points on like when not to approach a cosplayer, like at a convention or anything like that?
Go
I
ahead.
think some of it's probably common sense.
Yes.
For people that don't know, they've never gone to a convention, they may not know.
Common sense it goes a long way. Usually when you see someone shooting, another photographer shooting with a cosplayer, the polite thing to do is actually wait. Wait your turn, let them be done with their thing, and ask nicely. Ask the cosplayer, hey, would you mind me taking your pictures, or would you like to do a 10-minute shoot with me privately, and exchange information so that everybody can, cross-promote each other.
I definitely want to also add on. As a photographer too, if a cosplayer tells you, hey, you got to remember, some of these cosplayers have been going to conventions for years. Some of them have their near Comic-Con. Let's take that as a perfect example. A lot of us who are going already have stuff scheduled. So we'll have a shoot from 1 o'clock to 1:15, and then we have to rush in 10 minutes to, we have a shoot at 1:30, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You can't get mad if a cosplayer tells you, hey, listen, I can't shoot right now, I'm in the middle of something. Some of these people already have pre-schedules. So you have to kind of be respectful. If they tell you no, you know what, you know, maybe later down the line you might see them later and they're not doing anything and you can say, hey, can I take a picture now? But remember, there's millions of cosplayers out there that you can get shots of, and you never know. They might follow you on Instagram, then later on you can be like, hey, can I shoot you on a different date out of the convention? Yeah. Some cosplayers are like, yeah, sure, let's shoot out of the convention. Let's do this. Why not? So, you know, if a cosplayer tells you no, don't get offended. They probably have like 50 million other things that they have already scheduled, you know, to do. A photo shoot to do. So just, you know, if they say no, just be like, all right, you know, bite the dust and go find somebody else. That would be my advice.
The main point would be just ask. Like, I don't know if any of you have been to Sakura Matsuri this past time, but it was it was so overwhelming. So I was cosplaying, I wasn't a photographer, and like people would just literally like that, actually, like in your face, and you would just be like, okay. Or if like I'm like shoving food in my face, people would be taking pictures of me and like, that's not an attractive photo. Like, why do you want that? I don't understand why you would want that.
Somebody actually threw a baby on top of Lua, and literally, oh my god, like whatever the heck you're supposed to be. Here's my baby. Lua's like.
So it's a lot of, like you said, it's a lot of common sense and just being polite and courteous and just like everyone's saying, just ask. And like the worst answer you can get is no, and then you'd be like, all right, peace.
Yeah, etiquette goes a long way.
Yeah, it's especially like Joanna Marie in the audience. She's like getting ready, and I saw like 4 photographers. Can I shoot you right now, please? Yeah. And she's like, but. Okay, when I'm done dressing up, like, you know, just regular stuff. We done?
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna need a drink. I like lime.